Welcome back. House Republicans cleared a key procedural hurdle last night to unlock consideration and debate on a trio of cryptocurrency bills. Republicans stalled the roll call vote for nearly 10 hours yesterday, making history as the longest vote in the House. House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke to reporters afterwards. Watch.
Look, we built consensus. We had to answer questions and get everybody to yes. And I think at the end of the day, we've got a great process and a good product, and I'm happy we got it done. Sometimes it just takes longer than other times.
Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde, a member of the House Appropriations and Budget Committees. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. What was the pushback about?
Well, good morning, Maria. Well, the pushback was about ensuring that we had the best opportunity possible to ban central bank digital currency because, you know, that sets up the surveillance state. We're not like China. We don't use the financial system to surveil our population, and that is a very, very great concern of the American people. And so one of these crypto bills was the anti-central bank digital currency bill, and we wanted to make sure that it had the absolute best possibility of becoming law, and we were concerned that it didn't with the current way that things were moving. And so there was some hold up to it. You know, legislating can be messy sometimes, but in the end, I think we got the best possible path to ensure that there will be no central bank digital currency in the United States.
Well, that's really interesting. So the ban of that currency was in the House plan, but it wasn't in the Senate. Is that what happened?
Well, you know, we were very concerned that the 7 Democrat senators that will be necessary in order to bring this bill to the floor of the Senate for a vote simply weren't going to be there unless it's attached to a must-pass bill. And so we agreed that it would be attached to the next one that came up, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which is generally a very, very bipartisan bill and one that always passes the House and the Senate and gets signed into law.
Okay. Let me move on to tariffs and trade. The president's agenda. The president is planning to place tariffs of more than 10% on more than 150 smaller countries, including nations in Africa and the Caribbean. Congressman, what are your thoughts on the pace of this trade and tariff executive orders and the way that it's impacting the economy right now?
Well, I think our president has been the best trade negotiator in the entire history of the United States. You know, this is a man that wrote The Art of the Deal, and he definitely has shown that he knows how to make a deal and make a deal that is good for this country. I mean, we have seen, you know, inflation at what, 2.1% core inflation?
That's right.
Which literally going back to the first Trump era. This man knows what he's doing, and I trust him. So I think this is going to be good for America.
Tiana, jump in here.
President Trump's been pretty consistent about wanting freer trade, but crucially fairer trade, right? But some of the delegations, there are reports that among the trade delegation, there is some dissonance. You have various countries saying they're hearing one thing from the Treasury Secretary, another thing from the Commerce Secretary. Do you feel like the more trade deals we get down the pipeline, do you think we'll get more 0-0 trade deals with those non-tariff barriers removed? Or will they be more like these Vietnamese tariffs where we're still going to be taxing American citizens?
Well, what I think is going to happen is the president is simply leveling the playing field here. We have been disadvantaged for decades with our trading partners, and that time's over. And the president has made that very clear. You know, this is an America First administration, and they're going to make sure that all these previous trade deals that have happened where we always got the short end of the stick, we're not going to get that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we are a powerhouse, and we demand fair treatment, equal treatment, and we're going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, the president has made a lot of these deals better. Look at the Indonesian deal that he signed this week, and that was taxing Indonesian imports into America at 19%. And yet, when we're sending products into Indonesia, there's no tariff at all. It's zero. And he was able to get that done. And he's trying one by one to make every deal better after he's getting the letters and, you know, coordinating the letters with Howard Lutnick. The president signed an executive order cracking down on fentanyl, meanwhile, yesterday, toughening prison sentences for traffickers of fentanyl. Watch.
We're going to work it out so that China is going to end up going from that to giving the death penalty to the people that create this fentanyl and send it into our country, whether it's through other countries or directly. I believe that we would have had that deal a long time ago. The death penalty is going to be imposed on people from China that make fentanyl and send it into our country. I believe that's going to happen soon. But as of today, all fentanyl-related substances will be banned forever, and those who traffic in these deadly poisons will be put behind bars for a very long period of time.
The president has walked such a balance on this, and particularly on China, knowing where the real bad stuff comes from. Customs and Border Protection released last month's border numbers. It revealed just over 25,000 total nationwide encounters. That's the lowest monthly total in CBP history, Congressman. Your reaction in terms of the border right now and what more needs to be done now that you actually got that money to go to the border in the big, beautiful bill passed?
You know, that's incredible news. I mean, we saw great news in May. We're seeing great news in June. 0 illegal entries, allowed to go into the United States, those that have been apprehended. We did not need a new bill here in Congress. All we needed was a president who was committed to following the law as it stands. And I think that's our president right there. I think we in the big, beautiful bill did what was necessary here in Congress. And I think the president will take that money and do exactly what is necessary to ensure that the border stays closed and that the American people are protected.
Yeah.
He signed the Halt Fentanyl Act, which I think was critical to helping deal with this poison that is killing over 100,000 American citizens by drug overdose every year.
Yeah.
So I think the president's on the right track here.
Well, the Speaker of the House told me that he would like to see a couple more reconciliation packages, perhaps one at the end of this year and then one next year. What do you want to see in those packages?
Oh, absolutely. We want at least one more reconciliation package. If we can get a second one or a third one, actually, that's even better. I think we need to go just a little farther in making sure that we cut mandatory spending. I think that's important. But honestly, I think that Leader Thune needs to deal with the Senate parliamentarian first. That needs to be an absolute must before we go into another budget reconciliation, because this Senate parliamentarian has absolutely shown herself to be partisan and not even-handed. So I think that has to be the very first thing that happens before we go into budget reconciliation, or we're going to have the same problems we did last time.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching your work, certainly on the Budget Committee. We so appreciate your time. Thank you. Andrew Clyde on Capitol Hill.